Avi!
Yay! We did it!
We
You
did it.
did it! You did it!
Oh,
It's
trust me, it's definitely a we situation because, as I said, if it wasn't for you, Avi,
Aw.
full breakdown.
I
Thank you
get
so
it.
much.
These things happen at the worst moments, so I
Right?
get it. So
Oh
I
my God.
understand. I understand. But you handled it, and you look great. You're adorable. I love it.
Thank you. Thank you. I'm trying to pull this off as a fashion moment,
I
but
like
really what's happening here is I was rushing and there's a sweat. So I'm just like, yeah, this is so cute. But
yes.
really I'm just sweating.
It's okay. Make it fashion though. I understand.
Right. And again, I want to tell you how happy I was when you reached out. You were like, Debbie,
Yeah.
do you want to do this?
Do you
And I'm like,
remember? Yeah.
is that a question right now? Of course. You're hearing me well, right?
Yes.
All right,
Yeah.
wonderful. So, Alvy,
Yes.
just real quick, I always wanted to know how is it that you got to be a part of the Owl House family?
No, it's a great question. Really, it's just started with an audition. So it started with my representation. So my agents that I have
Yes.
emailed me, gave me all the information of what I needed to audition.
Hmm.
And I have to be honest, I was not familiar with the show when I got the
Okay.
audition. But I did my due diligence and did my research. I always get the
Right.
details mixed up where I was like, did I watch it after I got the role or did I watch it to prep to audition for the role? I can't
Mm.
remember, but needless to say, when I first got the audition, I didn't know about the Owl House, but I was like, loved the character. I loved what the show was talking about, and I sent in my audition,
Yeah.
which really was, I think there was like 4 different lines, and
Hmm.
each line had a different emotion attached to it. So I had to give each line the proper emotion. So it's like this
Right.
line is angry, this line is nervous, like stuff like that. And I was like, okay, sure. And I did, and I sent it in, and then
And you obviously nailed it.
well, yeah, but that was always the little details that I also like to share is that I sent it thinking I wasn't going to get it. And
Oh.
I know, and I didn't hear anything. It also didn't say that Raine was like, it wasn't specifically saying in the character description that Raine was
Hmm.
non-binary, that they used they
Oh.
them pronouns. The way I connected it was because in the character description of Raine,
Yeah.
they are the head of the bar.
Oh. Yeah.
They have blah 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 blah. So that's the way that I was able to be like, oh my god, this character uses they them pronouns.
That's beautiful.
You know?
I thought they reached out to you because
Yes,
it was a non-binary character.
they did. So
Okay,
so they did. That's part of
but
the
you didn't
reason.
know.
I correct. It wasn't specifically being like, "Bruh,"
Hey,
but I
you're
think
non-binary, so we want you to voice
yeah,
this character.
right. But I
Uh,
knew that because this character is they them, the team wanted to make sure that they were casting an actor that also, can
use
relate
they
and
them
or uses
pronoun.
they them pronouns or is non-binary or is trans or anything like that. So that's kind of how I got it because a few months later, I would say I auditioned in like June or July and
Right.
of 2020, and then I didn't find out I got the part until November.
Oh,
Yeah, so there was a
that's
bit
a
of
lot.
time where
That's more than a bit.
I was
Whoa.
like, well, I guess I didn't get it.
Oh my God. But it's a good thing that you were already in that mindset of like, yeah, let me just let me just throw it out there and see what happens.
Exactly. And I think that's a lot of my work as an actor. You kind of have to do that. Audition, put it
Yeah.
out there. You may get it, you may not. Oftentimes you get more no's than yeses. Um,
Wow. Just real quick, how do you
yeah.
deal with just not knowing when you're gonna
Mm.
like? Is it that you try not to get too attached to the audition, but you also have to give it a lot of heart? So how do you
Yeah,
balance?
it's tricky. Something I feel like I have waves with, of where I feel like sometimes I can really just do it, commit, and really put myself into it, and then forget about it and just let,
Mhm.
whatever happens, happens. And sometimes I think I get really attached to certain
Aw.
auditions because it is a trans character, it is a non-binary character, and
Yeah,
those roles are not as abundant. So
I get
sometimes
you.
when I get it, I'm like, oh my gosh, this is my chance.
And this is your first animation role, like your first voiceover? I know
Yes,
you do audiobooks, but
yep,
is this your first one in voiceover?
it is for a cartoon, for an animated, yeah, for animation. It is my first role and job for in that area. Yeah.
That's beautiful. And seeing that your character came in after the show was so well established, were you kind of nervous how you were going to be received by the fan base?
A little bit, but I also think I wasn't realizing, like,
How big?
yes, how big the
Uh,
fan base is or how big the following is. So I don't think I really knew what to expect.
oh
Um,
yeah, yeah.
yeah,
When did you really realize, like, what did I just get into?
I'll
When
be
did it really
honest,
begin?
before I even was allowed to announce my
Mm-hmm.
character, I started seeing people following me like on social
Ah,
media, and I'm like, huh, did something get leaked
Lee?
or
Or
released or something? I don't know, but it wasn't me.
did you ever figure out what happened there? Because I'm like,
I Yeah, I'm not sure. I'm not sure. I don't know if somehow someone shared the information or just
mm-hmm.
in, and you know how that happens. It's like
Yes.
maybe someone in passing was sharing something to someone, I don't know, and then it just kind of gets
Yeah,
spread.
that's how it always goes.
But
Sometimes sometimes I get a little nervous. I hope none of my friends who tells me secrets are watching this.
right,
But sometimes I get so nervous. I'm like, oh my God, I gotta keep it in. That's
yes,
not out yet. Say nothing.
yeah. You gotta just keep it. Yeah, and that was, I think that was just the whole experience for me, was like seeing that. I was like, huh, interesting. Okay, these are people I don't know, and it looks like
Right.
maybe they're fans of this show.
Well,
Yeah.
let me tell you, I was so excited when I found non-binary because I do also identify as non-binary, even though I do use
Yes,
he/him pronouns.
yes,
Um, that journey was like just getting there. Funny enough, I used to play around with the term, like tell all my cousins and stuff, oh, I'm non-binary, when I was
yeah,
in primary school. I
uh-huh,
didn't fully understand what it was. And it wasn't until the craziest Rihanna, she released like some shoes with Puma, and
yeah,
I went to buy one, and I was like, where the heck are these shoes? Like, I'm onto the men's section. Where is it?
yeah.
I saw that it was under
The
women,
way,
and I was like, um, cue the existential crisis. Like, is this okay if I buy this? Is it okay? Because I really like this.
yeah.
And then it just brought up all those feelings that I was like kind of keeping on the wraps for so long, like since I was so younger. And I was like,
Mhm.
maybe I should look into this non-binary thing.
Yes. That's
When
so
did it kind
nice.
of
Go ahead.
when did it kind of click for you? Because
I
using they them, I think it's so powerful, especially since there's so many people who are just not willing to respect they them pronouns. You try to teach them over and over again. You use they them for singular all the time.
Oh yeah.
But I think it's just the ignorance, and sometimes it's just not even worth the time trying to explain to them because you realize you're trying to waste your time literally. So when did you start realizing, okay, I am non-binary, I want to identify as they them,
Yeah.
and how do you navigate it throughout your
Mhm.
everyday?
Oh yeah. Ooh, I feel like that moment for me happened when I learned that that even existed, and that even was an option, because I lived in Chicago for like 8 years, pretty much.
Mm,
But I would say I always use age wise. So I'm 32 now,
okay.
and I began this journey of transition and questioning my gender identity when I was 27, 28. So fairly
Mm,
late in my 20s. And it was because I knew other people in the Chicago artist and theater community. I did a lot of theater in Chicago.
okay.
Um, I knew some other people that used they them pronouns and were, you know, gendered queer, gender nonconforming, non-binary, trans. And honestly, it was this moment where I think I was like presenting masculine, um but and I was comfortable with saying like I'm queer, but I didn't really, I don't think I had the language yet to identify for myself like,
That's
oh,
right.
I'm trans, oh, I'm not
Right.
binary, and to question that and to have these moments of like, wait a second,
Right.
let me step back and really investigate what's going on here,
Yes.
and take control and actually make something for me that feels right and good for me, you know? And
Amen.
that's kind of how it came to where I did a social transition first, where I was like, hold on, let's think about this name.
Right.
let me find a name that I feel I can connect to.
Right.
You know, I always say names are gifts. You know, your parents or whoever names you gives that's a gift, and who's to say you can't return it? You know, for
True.
for something else.
I like that.
Yeah, so I returned the name and I said, this is my name. This has always been my name. And pronouns, they, them. I think for me, non-binary and that being like I am neither this nor that is so much more spiritual for me. It's so much more like internal, where like it's just something I feel, where like I don't feel like I am a man and I do not feel like I am a woman. And I know that like I'm also deconstructing and decolonizing gender constantly too, because I am a product of like societal norms and expectations.
Yes.
Like,
Yes.
I did get that layered onto me. So it's kind of breaking that and getting out of there so I could just be like, hey, this is me, this is who I am. Like, take it or leave it. I had problems though in my early transition of, you know, this is what's so frustrating is like we're constantly being judged or labeled or assumed to be this or that based on how we look and based on how we sound. So that was really tough for me because I think I was so resistant to what I was assigned with at birth, which is female. Like I was so resistant to that every time someone misgendered me, every time someone she'd me or heard me, I'd be like, it was like a wound. I was like, not. I would get angry.
I get it because that was a similar thing. It's such a when your core wounds get triggered. Oh, but you could be the nicest, sweetest person in the world, but it's just like once it gets triggered, just like everything goes red, and it's like you can only see that one thing. So how did you kind of deal with it to where you're here now?
Yeah, time and a lot of patience, but also surrounding myself with people that were also kind and generous and compassionate and patient with me too. Having that support. I think as I did my social transition and was moving through that, I also felt like there was another step I needed to take for myself, which was to then medically transition. So that for me was starting testosterone, taking, you know, hormone replacement therapy and having top surgery. And through all of that, then I feel like I was more confident with myself and better in a better place to where I feel like my mindset changed to where I was like, okay, I'm confident about who I am. I feel good about who I am. That's the most important part. I have no control over how someone else is going to perceive me, how someone else is going to, what they're going to think about me or whatever. I have no control. So why am I going to keep expending that kind of energy, which is kind of toxic to keep getting so angry and worked up about it all the time.
It can be a lot.
Yeah, it's a lot. It started hurting me more than actually helping me. So I felt like I needed to be like, find the forgiveness for myself, but also forgiveness for others. And just know that everyone is on their own journey. Everyone's going to have their own ideas and perspectives. And
Beautifully put.
yeah, it sucks that there's still resistance. It sucks that there's still people that choose to not embrace
Try to learn.
and learn.
Right.
You're right. And but now it's like I get misgendered on the opposite end now. So now I'm he'd, now I'm third.
I get you.
Now I'm like,
Do you
what's
feel
up,
like
boss? Hey, bro. Like, which I like, I get it. And that's part
do you
of it.
feel like that triggers you as much though as when it comes to
Exactly.
the she's?
No, it doesn't as much.
Because it's funny for me, like even though I do use he him pronouns, some of the most triggering stuff for me are gender norms when they're like, you're a man, do this and so forth. And even though occasionally I do get so listen girl, I was talking and I was like, like it slips in. It doesn't bother me as much. And I feel like it's because they kind of get it. Like they're not just looking at the surface. I feel like to see me and be like, girl, it was the craziest thing. It's like it's something more energetic and more spiritual, and like you're feeling something and you're actually just not taking what you're seeing on the surface. So it doesn't bother me as much. So I think I finally accepted it and started learning when I was 22 for me. And I think it's so fantastic that there are more queer characters in animation because mostly kids watch animation and they can have these conversations from earlier, like we're having now. They're having these conversations with their peers in school. They have online where they're having these conversations with people their age. So by the time they're our age, they can, fully be exactly who they want to be. And I think being non-binary is just basically fully accepting yourself. Not that if you're not non-binary you can't accept yourself, but I think it's such a new, or like you said, spiritual way of just connecting, because it's not going to resonate with a lot of people. If you're just not that, you're just not. But once you are and it resonates, then it's just spiritual. It's a label about not putting a label on things.
I know, which is so sometimes contradictory. It's like I'm still trying to have all these labels so everyone knows who I am.
Right. I have those conversations with myself so many times.
But I'm also like, don't put me in a box.
So what is it that you'd like to see? Because you're such a huge face of non-binary representation in animation. Literally the first Disney Channel animated character, non-binary, to use they them pronouns. So I really wanted to ask you, like, I know you used to draw and so forth when you were younger. So you had a connection with animation when you were smaller?
Yeah, I would say like I grew up watching TV and cartoons. Like that's really, where I remember a lot of my moments alone. Like, that like narrative of like, I think I was kind of a lonely kid. And, that stuff helped me get through whatever I was going through and helped me escape sometimes whatever else was really going on. And I also loved drawing, and so I felt like drawing any cartoons helped me really process things or just have a moment of peace, and like to calm me. What else? I also noticed
go ahead.
I also noticed that, so funny, like I thought of this detail when I did another thing where I was like, I really actually liked reading out loud. Like I liked and doing voices sometimes. So like sometimes like my the newspaper, and there's like comics or any kind of comic strip or anything like that, I would like read it out loud by myself and like give each character a voice.
I love that.
I lost reading growing up. Like reading is not anything I have done for years, for leisure, for pleasure, for like, I'm like, reading, I don't want to read. But it's funny because I'm an audiobook narrator now.
Exactly.
So I'm literally like reading.
You gotta read. What were some of the cartoons that you gravitated to when you were younger?
Okay. this is like maybe just so I don't even know, but my favorite was Winnie the Pooh. Like the Adventures of Winnie the Pooh was
Oh
my
my
favorite.
god.
I
My
was a
mom
Winnie the Pooh
loved that.
kid. I also loved the Ninja Turtles.
Mm.
So I was really into that. A favorite of the Turtles. Okay, which one was it? It was I think it was Michelangelo.
Ah, fun fact, I don't really know them different.
Okay.
I didn't know.
It's okay. You know, I think it's fine. I don't honestly. I
Yeah,
can't remember what color Michelangelo
right.
was. Was it
But you just remember.
orange? Yeah, it was. I remember because this is what was so funny. Like, so my
Mhm.
dad's name is Angelo. So I think
Oh.
maybe I was like, oh yeah, like my dad. And then Michael, I don't know. This is a fun little fact about me. Whenever we
Mm-hmm.
played house as kids and we played make believe and like role play things as kids,
Mm-hmm.
I remember my sister, who's 2 years older than me, would be like, okay, what do you want your name to be? And I'd be like, Michael. So I would choose Michael as my make pretend name as a kid. So that's what's funny. I feel like gender for me did
Mm-hmm.
show up. Like identity and expression showed up for me as a kid, but quickly I
Yeah.
swept that under the rug because I felt it was wrong. I felt like I needed to conform. I needed to do things that would make
You
it right as
you
me as
you
a
think it's
girl.
right, right?
Yeah, and so I lost touch with that, and then that's why like it was interesting that my sexuality and queerness showed up
Mhm.
really like took off in high school for me, and that's where I explored that, and then later in my 20s gender showed up again.
When you said that you'll be Michael when you were younger,
Yeah.
I just remembered when we used to play this thing called House when we were
Yes.
younger with cousins and so forth. And I would always take the towel and I'd
Oh,
put it on my head for here.
like for
And I'd always be Dana.
Dana.
So that's the right. And then you have Dana Terrace creating the whole house, so it's all a circle.
I
Full
love
circle.
this so much. We need to do like a skit where like you're Dana with your towel and I'm
Yeah.
Michael with I don't know. I'm just Michael.
I haven't done it in such a long time, but I am so down.
That's amazing. Yeah, it's it's those little moments that you remember as kids and like having
Mhm.
those kind of cartoons. And I'm trying to think what else. There was a Disney show called The Gummy Bears. That was one I liked. There was one. I think I liked Care Bears. Do you remember
Teletubbies?
Dragon Tales?
Oh gosh, yeah. Dragon
Dragon
Tales. Of course. I can't forget Dragon Tales. The animation of that was so interesting.
Now you got me being like, what else did I like though? I liked
Go ahead.
Rugrats. I liked Doug. I liked Hey Arnold. I liked there's a show called The Weekenders. Yeah, okay, that was it.
I vaguely remember the Weekenders. But Hey Arnold, that was my
Yes.
thing that I didn't get into until I was at 13 and so forth. I didn't watch much Nickelodeon when I was younger, but
Right.
when I started going to high school, that's when I really loved Nick shows. I'm not sure what that is. I should really look into that.
Yeah.
But did you ever watch Recess Disney Channel?
Oh my gosh, duh, Recess, another
Iconic.
favorite.
Iconic. The Proud
Recess.
Family.
What? Proud
The Proud
Family?
Family,
Yes.
right.
Disney Proud Family. I did watch that too. Absolutely.
I get this question a lot since I've had my page. What do you want to see for non-binary rep?
Mm.
So I wanted to propose the question to you, especially seeing that you are Avi Roque. Raine Whispers.
Oh, you say my name so good. Thank you.
Thank you so much. I try. I love Spanish. I really need to learn it. Do you speak Spanish fluently?
I was gonna say so do I. No, I am not fluent. I am not fluent in Spanish, but it is a language that my ear is used to growing up. Hearing it from my grandparents, and it is something that like I can do. Like if you give me something to read or something in Spanish, I can I have the accent for the most but I am not confident in just speaking it fluently.
I get you. I remember from high school, but I just wasn't confident enough to be like, yes, I know that.
Sí, yo sé, gracias.
Yo sé. gosh. But yeah,
Okay, sorry, your
what
question.
is it? Yeah,
Non-binary, right?
yeah,
How does it?
non-binary rep in
Yeah,
animation. What is it that you want to see in the future? And it doesn't have to be animation alone. Just in media overall. What is it that you'd love to see? Um, if someone was to ask you, what should we do and what should we not do?
yeah. Sometimes the easy way out cheap answer is like just see more of it. Like, can we just have
Oh,
more of those characters like that or people like that?
mm,
But I also think seeing them more in the leads, like
yeah.
having more stories and narratives about
Mm,
them, but not as about them being non-binary, but
right.
about them, for instance, being a I always use this, like being a doctor.
And just chilling and just casually have to be them. Just like in the Owl House, where it's not like
Yeah,
anybody overtly saying
correct.
Rain is non-binary and they use
Yes.
they them pronoun.
Yeah.
But I also think, and let me know if you agree, that it's important to still have those moments,
Yeah.
especially if you have a show that's going on for like 5, 10 seasons. If there is a non-binary character or more than one, I think it's important that they at least have those
Mm.
moments where they kind of use it as a teachable moment.
Mm.
Because I didn't know, I don't know anyone actually IRL, like in my everyday life, that uses they them pronouns.
Mm-hmm.
So what I had to do was use animation and fictional characters.
Or
One that I remember distinctly is Shira, that's
yeah.
on Netflix. There's a character there called non-binary. Sorry, called Double Trouble.
Double trouble. Okay.
Right, voiced by Jacob Tobiah,
Oh yeah.
and they use they them pronouns, and I continuously like every time I saw them. This might sound so silly, but every time I saw them on screen, I just overtly be like, "Oh, there they are! Ah, I
Yes.
can't wait to see them again." And I just
Yeah.
continuously did it until it just became normal,
Yeah,
basically.
yeah, like a habit, like or just normalized, and it's just in your brain because that's really what it
Hmm.
is. I think it's doing the practice and doing the work of it to like
Hmm.
train yourself to
Right.
use it. I mean, I think I experienced that with like my mom and my dad and
Hmm.
just kind of them having to undo the
Right.
stories they
All of the
had for
tough stuff
me.
they've learned.
Yes,
Hmm.
what they've learned and practice. But the more you do it, like with anything,
Right.
the
The
easier,
better you
the
become.
better. Yeah,
I
yeah,
don't
yeah.
think there's any shame in it. It may seem silly,
Yeah,
but there's no shame in actually actively practicing. I recommend it a lot
yeah,
because it works. It works, and it's something we're all gonna have to get used to, whether it is that you are cis or trans.
yeah,
We all have to get used to it at some point. All
yeah.
right, so let me see if we can
Yes,
rapid
yes.
fire some of these
Please, please.
questions.
I can do 10 more minutes.
Beautiful.
Okay.
Avi, you're the best.
Okay.
Can we just shout out Avi in the chat right now?
Aw. Hi,
Iconic.
everyone. Thank you. I just want to say thank you, everyone, for joining. And hello. Hi. What's up?
Beautiful people, gorgeous. These people, I love them so much. I had to take a quick hiatus just because I had a
Mm,
lot of things dealing with. And I came back and it was like I never left. Everybody's still showing up. So
that's
I
all.
adore you guys so much.
Aw.
All right, so here we go. Cotton candy sprite. Can you describe Rain? Oh, okay. We're not gonna do this one.
Yeah, no
Guy-
spoilers.
no spoilers, guys. But before hopping on the call, I just asked Avi, how are you feeling? What was the question I asked? Just how are you feeling? Are you happy with where Rain's character is
Oh,
going
right, right,
in the
right.
future?
Yes, I
Just
mean, I'm happy to say that, like, yes, we well, one, I always say, like, we will see Rain again. We will see Raine
right.
Whispers again. And yes, I'm very happy. I'm just very happy to for their journey to continue and
Amen.
for their story to continue on the show. So
No, no more.
yeah, and that's it.
Say nothing else.
Of course. Why wouldn't I not be excited? I'm excited.
All right. Have you watched Encanto on Disney? Someone said would Rain
Ah,
like Encanto.
oh, Encanto. Yes, I did see that movie. What a beautiful movie. Always so great to
Agree.
see that, like the representation and the culture and just the music and everything like that in the story.
Mm-hmm.
Rain would definitely love Encanto, of course.
I agree.
Yes.
The songs in there are amazing too.
Yes.
I'm blasting the soundtrack, especially "We Don't Talk About Blue." No,
My
no,
favorite. It's my favorite song.
iconic. All right. Someone said, do you think Rain likes singing?
Yes. Oh, definitely.
Oh,
Oh,
some
definitely.
people.
That's a hard yes. Yes.
Lazarus, can Avi do a Hootie impression?
A Hooty
Hootie,
impression. Oh no. What? I don't even know. I'm not familiar with their lines. Do you know
no,
a line of Hooty?
Hootie. No,
No.
I'm not even gonna. I can't remember anything, but I remember they talk like really loud. They're like, uh,
Yeah. What did they
Luz.
say?
Like, let's say they were to say, Luz, wait a me, Luz. No one leaves me. Hoot, hoot, hoot.
Hoot hoot. That's not very good.
Uh,
I
we
was
tried.
not
We
cast as
tried
Hooty.
for a
No.
reason.
Yeah, it doesn't.
I,
I don't know. It talks like it's weird.
yeah,
It's like oh,
that's kind of it. Very Mickey Mouse. Very Mickey Mouse. You got Mickey Mouse down though. I think you unintentionally just channeled your Mickey Mouse.
oh my gosh! Hello, Disney.
Yeah, all right. So Nana Bariko says tips into getting into the voice acting world.
Oh, tips to get into the voice acting world.
Hmm.
Oh, what a tricky. I don't even know. Okay,
I think it's very easier nowadays.
yeah,
'Cause,
it can be.
online.
It can be. It's just I always say, you know, you're it helped tremendously that I was an actor first and foremost, and that I've had
Mhm.
experience there, and that I had a representation, agents, talent agents
Okay.
that are able to get me these kinds of auditions.
Hmm.
Auditions for Nickelodeon, Netflix, Hulu, Amazon, Disney, Cartoon Network. Like,
Hmm.
I wouldn't be able to do that on my own. To get those kinds of opportunities to audition. I think you can find sometimes what is called non-union, independently
Okay.
produced projects sometimes where
Hmm.
people are creating their own work and they might be looking for voice actors or artists. You just never know. I don't really necessarily always know how to find those, but
Yeah.
I don't know if you're in touch with that kind of community and anything like that. I think it could be easier. I don't want to say easier. I
Hmm.
think I understand more with audiobook stuff. I didn't realize that there are databases that exist for different publishing houses where you can like submit your information. You can give like samples of your voice work of like reading or narrating.
Oh,
Okay, that was my other thing. If you don't have your own demo or anything
yeah.
like that, get a book or a book that you like or enjoy,
And
record
just read.
yourself reading it, and that can be like a sample right there
Hmm.
of audiobook work or being a narrator.
Hmm.
Same thing with voiceover demo reels of finding material online for scripts. Sometimes those are out there where you can find animation scripts and you can record yourself doing that, and you can make your own little demo. I say, sometimes you don't need to spend so much money to
Yes.
make these things because what you're hoping is like, okay, at least if I start and make this my own and then I put it
Hmm.
out there and I send it to people and I submit,
Yes.
then you're thinking the return that you'll get is like, now, okay, maybe someone is like, okay, I hear the potential there, they'll
Yes.
they'll bring you on board. Then you're going to
Hmm.
start booking jobs, and then you can make all that money and spend it on better equipment,
Buying I
spend it
am a big
on,
fan of that.
yeah, you know what I'm saying. So just, it is an
Because even
investment.
when it is It is. That's one of the biggest things. Because
Yeah.
even when I just started my YouTube channel, which led to me starting the Instagram, I was just recording voiceover stuff on my phone, like
Yeah.
um, reviewing shows and stuff
Yes.
on my phone. And
Yes.
then as I went along, I was able to buy like a USB
There
microphone.
you go.
So I
And those are good
100%
USB mics. Yeah. Yeah. Those are like so
they can work
nifty.
magic. You just have to know how to tweak some stuff. And also,
Yeah.
I just pinned Allison. Allison is a voice actress, fabulous voice actress. She
Awesome.
does this podcast.
I
She
love it.
gives a lot of tips and stuff to
That's
upcoming
great.
voice actors.
That's good because I too need some tips sometimes.
So yeah, I pinned her. You guys can definitely follow her. If anything, I'll send you her profile after, Avi.
Very cool. Thank you.
All right, Chelsea, who I adore. Chelsea's a regular here. Chelsea asks, has anyone inspired you to voice act?
Mm. Mm. Not, not really. I'm so weird. I feel like I don't. You know, it's one of those things where I'm like, wasn't really in tune to being like, this
Mhm.
person's my role model. I don't. That's not part of my story or journey of
That's
being like,
definitely it's understandable, especially seeing as you are new to the voiceover world coming from
yeah,
act.
exactly,
So I
exactly.
definitely understand. Are there any actors though that inspire you? Like any on-camera actors?
LOL. Wow.
That sounds like
um, I
none coming to mind right now.
and that's what it's always. I've always been like that, though. I've always been like, even when so many people ask me, like, "What's your favorite this? What's your favorite that?" And I'm never. I don't know if it's because it's my Gemini. I'm a Gemini, and so like it's hard for
Yeah,
me to pin down.
I get you.
I just feel like it's
I
all over the place and changes.
What I always do, because the same thing happens to me. So sorry for putting you on the spot. What I
Yeah,
do is I'm like I don't know. I'll tell you the first person who pops into my head. I'm not gonna say
right.
they're like my
Your
biggest
favorite, but you,
inspiration.
yeah. Mm.
Yeah, that's what I always do to combat that.
Oh my gosh, mine is so bizarre and weird that I'm
What's the
about to
first
say
one?
what. And
Now I want to hear.
this is bad. This is the most basic Meryl Streep.
Oh,
And I can't believe I'm choosing a white lady, but yes, I am.
well, she is like if she wasn't a queen,
She's a
the
queen.
ultimate
Um,
queen,
but
then I would have said.
I
But
think
yeah,
what it is,
she's pretty
it's
fantastic.
yes, I think what it is, it's actors I gravitate towards are those actors that I can like are truly like transformational actors and
Yes.
truly believable in whatever role they take on.
Like even a Johnny Depp, he
Yeah,
is he's something else. And
that
Jim
too.
Carrey.
Yes, yes, yes. Like I think I love actors that are so versatile and can really do a lot. And I think I relate to that because it's like I want to be that kind of actor too.
Preach. All right, thank you for that. What's your
Yeah.
favorite line? Wait, let me see. How
It's
much
okay.
time do
It's
you
okay.
have left?
I told you I do. I know I said 10 minutes. Okay, listen. Let's do and then cut it off. So choose wisely. Two more questions.
Two more questions.
Two more
All right, this
questions.
is one.
Okay.
What's your favorite line from Raine?
Oh, so easy, but not easy. I think it is. It's the don't give up so easily. They probably need you more than you realize.
Oh my God,
I
not me
think
getting chills from
I
hearing
think
you
I
say it.
I think it's like just so beautiful, just like that those little messages and all these lines of like,
Mm,
you know, it's true. Like how relatable is it to like just easily just surrender and give up on something? And it's like, well, don't just let go so willy-nilly. Like, fight for it.
amen.
Fight for things, go for what you believe in and where your heart truly is. I always think that's something I like to live by. And then also one of my other favorite lines honestly is Raine's very first like intro lines that we see them where they're at the Day of Unity like speech and they get so flustered and so nervous and they're like
Oh,
this is going all wrong, get me out of here. and then they leave. I really loved
that
that.
was adorable.
Yeah, I loved that. So sweet. And it was the very first set of lines that I recorded as Raine. So it's just kind of one of those like memorable things, you
Yeah,
know?
sentimental moments.
Sentimental, yeah, for sure.
All right, let me ask you this as the last one.
Okay.
What was what was the audition process like? Did you record at home for like most of the lines?
No. I went to a studio. So they were
Oh,
able
nice.
to send me to a studio in Burbank, California, so here near Los Angeles.
Yeah.
And then I worked in the studio, so in a professional recording studio. The engineer, there was an engineer in the other room behind the
Yeah.
glass. And then I had a screen in front of me where over Zoom or Skype video, there was the voice director, Eden, and then
Mm-hmm.
anyone else that maybe was a writer or an animator, and then Dana would join a few
Oh, no.
sessions, and so she would be there helping give any kind of
The
direction
guy.
to and any kind of background info. So that was always
Mhm.
such a treat when she was there.
Shout out to her because she's doing a lot,
Oh
honey.
yeah,
A lot. So shout out
yeah,
to Dana.
yeah.
And did you get to meet any of the other Vice cast? Anybody?
Yes, I have.
Oh,
We did a little again as through Streamily. We did
yeah.
a those like autographs and signing and posters and stuff, and that's the first
Hmm.
time I met Sarah Nicole Robles and Sissy
Yes. Who
Jones,
plays Moose?
Mela Lee,
Lily?
and then
Kikimora?
Kikimora, yes. And
Yeah.
then, oh God, shame on me. I am blanking out on
It's totally
what's
fine.
his name that plays Hunter. I can't believe I'm blanking out.
Oh, Zeno
Zeno.
Robinson.
Zeno Robinson.
Also iconic. I
Yeah.
love hearing them because they're another transformative one because they do anime
Yeah.
as well as cartoons,
So
and they
cool.
the way he like just perfectly embodies the characters and switches his voice.
That's pretty cool. That's a talent. That's a talent.
We love that for Zeno. Did you get to record with any of them?
No. So that was the
No.
other thing. Literally, when I'm saying like I wasn't acting with any of the other voice actors, I was just getting the lines and in the
In the
scenes
direction.
with the voice director. Yeah.
Wow.
So
All right.
yes.
The last question here is what tips do you have for auditioning? And then we're done.
Yeah. Okay. It's advice I need to still like keep taking for myself. But when
Hmm.
you audition, I like to think of it as not an audition, but as if I've already gotten the part.
Okay, so
I've
you're just playing the
already
part.
yes, like this is me doing it as like I've got the part, and this is me doing the job already.
I get
Um,
that. You're very comfortable and so forth. Uh, I really want to ask you, how do you deal with rejection when auditions? Like,
oh yeah, yeah.
do
You
you just
know,
brush it off and be like, oh, okay.
kind of, yes and no. I think I feel like I don't because I've done it for in all
A long
different
time.
shapes and forms for years. I've been auditioning. That
Yeah.
I think it's kind of one of those things that you're just like, yeah, okay, I get it. All right. Not this one, but there is something out there that is right for me that is gonna
Mm,
show up.
I get
So
you.
knowing that the right project is out there and that it will
It will
show,
find you when it
it
finds
will
you.
find me when it finds me. Absolutely. And in the meantime, I'm gonna keep committing to every single audition, putting my heart into it, and really, yeah, going for it, not holding myself back.
Preach.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much, Avi. I think
You're
that's a beautiful way to go out.
welcome. Yes, Debbie, this was
Anything you'd
great.
like? Thank you. And again, thank you for just fitting me into your schedule and also putting up with the technical difficulties.
No,
I adore ya.
I adore you too. Oh,
Anything you want to say to the beautiful people before you go?
oh
Any upcoming
yes.
projects you're
Oh my
working on?
gosh. All of you are beautiful and wonderful and just I'm always feeling the love and the support and
Yeah.
the joy. So thank you all for being you. And I'm gonna try my Spanish. Te amo a todos. Gracias. Besos y abrazos. That was
Mm.
kisses and hugs. Yeah. Thank
Yes,
you,
thank you
Danny.
guys.
And thank you,
Thank you, Avi.
everyone.
All right, thank you guys for coming. And yeah, I'm gonna post this on my page so everyone who didn't get to make it can watch. And yeah, I'll
Oh,
see you guys next time.
absolutely. Thanks. Bye.
Alrighty, bye.